writes itself.
Are you two getting back together?
Love Screen Rant. Thanks for having us here.
Oh, no, thank you guys. Well, all right. Rachel Furch here at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. And I cannot even begin to explain how excited I am to be joined by the cast of NCIS, Tony and Ziva. Guys, we just got to talk about how incredible this is because, I mean, there was genuinely a time in the show just because Ziva was presumed dead. I know spoilers. She's here. She's here. She's here. She's got, oh, guys, she's alive. But this didn't even feel possible. And I know you mentioned at the panel that this was manifested by the two of you. So how does it feel now that this is a reality?
We were talking about the manifestation. That sounds like infestation. But the manifesting.
It's an infestation of really good.
Yeah, it's a good infestation. That in a strange, almost kind of quantum way, the fans were the ones who really manifested it. And
they wanted it. And what we got was the feedback. Every time we traveled all over the world, what's going on? And Michael and I were like, there's real curiosity and, want for something like this to happen. And of course, Michael and I wanted to work together. And we sort of talked about it. And then we got really lucky that this guy, was
you got to tell the story, right? You can't just and the interesting part of the way that this show unfolds and comes out of that man's head is this sort of nonlinear approach to telling the story, which allows us not only to tell a ripping good yarn, but also go back through time and address a lot of the questions that Cote and I would get over the decade that has transpired.
What happened to them? Yeah. Where are they? How are they doing? Are they together? Are they raising this child? I mean, so many questions. And then we had to find somebody that was going to answer all of them.
I had a lot of help.
Well, then, John, because this is your first time working in the NCIS franchise, right?
Yes.
How does it feel to already have, obviously these incredible actors and this lovely, passionate fan base behind you supporting the show out of the gate?
It was terrifying. Michael and I were just talking about this at breakfast, actually, because he was asking me, did I feel a lot of pressure at first? And I said, yeah, the pressure to not disappoint was the baseline, and then the pressure to, can we kind of take it up a step? And I don't mean in terms of quality, because I think all the NCISs are very good, but in terms of, we were given a huge playing field in which I felt it was incumbent upon all of us to really dig into these characters and not just treat the backstory of Ziva's arrival in Paris in 2020 as a one-off, but to really, step by step, take the audience through, as we're watching a present-day thriller with tons of gunfights and chases, flashing back to domestic scenes of I'm gonna do this, Tony, and Tony's like, but I thought we were gonna do that, and you start to see the little cracks in this kind of wonderful on-again, off-again romance. I felt a lot of pressure, but also I had a lot of tools.
Yeah, well then, with this being, essentially the first time you guys have been Tony and Ziva in, what, like 10 years together on screen. Obviously, there is, you've mentioned this too, that worry, can we get back what we had, that chemistry that you had in NCIS. Do you feel like you did, and how do you think the relationship between the characters has changed in this new series?
We're older. We have a child. So you're going to see a little bit of that passage of time, because I think as human beings, you evolve. I think you will see a little bit of that in both of us. But I think the fans, and really this show is like a love letter to our fans, We want to give them these characters, and we want to answer a lot of those questions. But I think, what do you have to say about it?
You, by the way, you don't age. You're just extraordinary. You're just
that's pressure, because that's going to happen.
That is immortality.
I'm a vampire.
Exactly.
I'm more like a creamy cheese that just got some mold on the side of it, and you're like, do we throw it out?
By the way, the moldier the cheese, the better.
That is true. I have heard that.
The older, the moldier. Oh, God.
Oh, Michael.
There's a fungus among us. This is what I'm saying, which is that coming back.
It's too early.
It's too early. I know. I can't help it. The acid kicks in around 10 a.m., so it's just I'm on a wild ride. It's an orange blue sky for me all day long. That's why I wore the shirt. So, when we started the first day, we hadn't worked together in a long time. To kind of address the curiosity about it. Everything, it's like a safe cracker. It's like you could just hear everything tumbling into place, and it just slid open. Everything was available to us. But there were all these new levels and nuances and new things that...
Including new characters, including new...
Yeah, and so the story that John and the writers created were evoking all these things. And then Cote and I are different humans in the sense that we've just a lot of water has gone under the bridge in real life, and so.
But there's a real yin-yang thing, you know.
Yeah,
it's
who's yin?
we are. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's like the ham and cheese thing. It's like who's the ham, who's the cheese? I have no idea. But Michael and I could not be more different, and yet we can totally relate. If you leave us alone, we could talk for a long time. In fact, yesterday we were having an interview, and at one point, you know, Michael was like, oh my God, we've been talking for how long? And we just kind of kept on talking. So, yeah, there's a real friendship. There's a real trust thing that's been earned. I always say that, you know. At the beginning, when we met, it was not easy. You know, I was coming from a totally different world. He was coming from an equally different place. And
Yin-yang.
But it's true. And then we kind of found this very interesting way of sort of playing. And we don't talk about the work, you know. I mean, on general terms, storylines, things like that, of course. But as far as like scenes and how they should go and how there's this whole thing about like surprise me, I'll surprise you, and kind of go with whatever we give each other. It's a tennis match in many ways. And I think that we got used to working that way, and we actually appreciate it, and we like working that way. And it's really wonderful when you find a partner that you could play with nicely, you know.
Nicely.
All right, here you go, Jack. Take those nuggets of love.
That was very yang.
Now, obviously, there are huge changes when you go from a network show to a streaming series. John, I am curious, like, what did that allow you to do that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do if you were still on network television?
The first decision creatively that I made and then talked to Cote and Michael about, and then eventually, you know, talked to the studio about is I felt really strongly that it had to be a single serialized story rather than a case of the week. And the reason was not to be all fancy or, you know, peak TV, but these characters required, I felt, a constant mounting, rising pressure on them that would not be relieved. The thing about, well, I love mysteries. I love procedurals. And the thing is, at the end of a procedural, the relief, right? You've caught the murderer. The little girl's reunited with her parents, whatnot. What was fun about structuring this, and what the studio signed off on, and these guys were so game for, was the end of each episode is the opposite of relief. It is like, oh, that was good, and then a thing 10 times worse just hits them and we cut to black. And I just felt strongly that to really explore the relationship in a way that was would service both a thriller and a romance, it had to be one story. So, and luckily, I didn't get a lot of pushback on that. That was the biggest difference.
It's a partnership, a relationship that is constantly tested.
Yeah.
And within that test, there's growth. And instead of coming apart, they have to work together.
Yeah.
And within that working together, there's something sort of magical that happens. They begin to trust each other. But that all is sort of tracked and earned, you know, episode through episode. And then through that, there's the complexity of having to address these feelings that they had no idea would sort of resurface. And what do we do with them now?
Yeah.
And where are we now with them? And so it's all of that. It's really exploration of character. And I think all three of us were really, that's what we wanted more than anything, for these characters to really explore the relationship.
Yes, I think it's sort of like, what if Lars von Trier made NCIS? Or what if Krzysztof Kieslowski were still alive, and instead of Red, White, and Blue 2, he made NCIS? It does have like a, remember Decalogue? Wasn't that? Yeah. So
I'm the only one, but yes.
No, the Screen Rant people out there. But there's...
Or is Decalogue one of the Justice League? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. So I think that there was the streaming of it all versus the network procedural thing. There's, in my mind, it's kind of like DiNozzo's fantasy come true of being able to be in an action workplace comedy thriller
Romance.
Techno
Romaction.
It sort of becomes a 40-act film. You know, it's like one massive story that you get to keep plugging back into. And as you watch these things, I was watching Dave the Jackal, and I just thought, you know, watching Eddie Redmayne make these kind of moves and all that, it's so much fun that we have this now. Although the BBC was doing it 45 years ago, they were doing, you know, what we now look at as like streaming. They perfected it. Yes. And I remember we talked a long time ago about, like, what if we made a 6-hour thing? And I believe it was
Berlin,
someone related to you, maybe maritally, who said, it's impossible because you don't get your money through advertising and through the so we now live in a world where somehow because of the subscriptions and the whole financing model has changed. So we're telling different stories in different ways, and while the broadcast version still very successfully exists, this I couldn't have dreamt of 15
and this
years
is
ago.
something that we really wanted to do, and we wanted to do it in this particular way. So it kind of, we had to wait a little bit because, as Michael said, the industry changed. So it was the perfect storm in many ways. Like, it happened when it had to happen, and all of the elements came together, and we were all free and willing and excited, and and then we got the green light and we just went for it.
It's also pure kismet that on the mothership, NCIS, we know that you both ended up in Paris with your daughter.
Sure.
Yes.
So it really helped me pitch CBS and the studios and Paramount Plus and say, well, we have to shoot in Europe. I mean, that's where they live. That's where they are. And all of a sudden, anytime you're going to shoot in exotic foreign locations that are absolutely gorgeous with completely different cultures, you just draft off of that. You start to build story and character off of not only who they are, but where they are and how the environment's affecting them. And that's also, I think, what gives the show its scope. It has a really, really wide lens feel to it.
Yeah, well then, okay, going back to what you guys were saying earlier about the episode by episode and how that's, like broadcast format, I am really curious because obviously Ziva is known for being this big, like, slow burn, will they, won't they ship. When you were filming, did you want them to get together, or did you like that it was kind of teasing the audience for those years?
Both.
I think I like the slow burn, and I love the idea that Michael's referred to these two characters as star-crossed lovers. It's sort of like they always want to, and something always happens, and things get complicated, and it can't work. There's one thing that I told Michael. I said, I'm not interested in telling the story is if in the end there is not like some sort of happy something. Because I think they deserve but before we get to that, we have to earn it. So we're going to see them go through a lot of stuff.
Now, I also have a hypothetical question. If Gibbs were to ever show up in Paris, how do you think he would react to everything that Tony and Ziva are up to?
He'd have them arrested. Because they're fugitives.
I think he'd ask Tony, where's the basement? And I'd say, oh yeah, we live in an apartment, there's no basement. And he'd say, then how do you build a boat? And I'd say, I'm sorry, boss, I'm not building a boat. He goes, yeah, I can't be here. And then he'd just leave. Oh, what do you think?
I think we'd talk about it for some weird reason. I think there would be like a conversation.
You'd have a more successful connection.
Probably. I don't know. But I think there would be like a conversation. And I think if I were to say, hey, I need your help, I think he would try to find a way where he could legally help me, even
I
though
could
most
believe
of the
that.
stuff, even though most of the stuff that's going on is,
I
you
feel
know,
like
he
I'd
wouldn't
walk
have.
into the living room and he'd be teaching Tali how to do a correct head slap. And I'd be like, no, that's not how we solve problems now. The
That's
culture
it.
has shifted. We don't do, corporal punishment in the workplace. Let's not do that.
Breathe.
Deep breath. Oh, I did it to myself. See that?
Well, then let's talk about Tally, because obviously huge new addition to the show.
Big.
Which parent would you say she's the most similar to?
Ziva. Well, I mean,
Okay.
yes.
Well,
Ziva.
there's a lot of kick-ass in her, and the character of Tali was played beautiful by a lovely actress named Isla.
and Olivia Brody.
Sure.
So it's two actresses playing her in two different timelines.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I think we concentrate more on
Yeah,
the older
on present day.
Tali.
because-
And
yes.
technically, in the very first episode, when we do the saga cell, you see even the first Tali.
Yes.
So there's three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
little
okay.
girl from
Three
the
Tallies.
mothership. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be interesting to have three DiNozzos? That'd create some time off for me.
Oh God.
I don't want that.
I would cast them. What?
Easy does it.
No. She's terrific. In fact, I think we've told the story a couple of times,
Yeah.
but we had a fight sequence in the first episode, and I could see that she was so incredibly, fixated, and she was just watching everything, and she was really into it. And at one point throughout the season, she said, "Is it okay if I do my own stunts?" And we said, "There's no way that you're going to do your own stunts." She comes from a background of gymnastics, so she's like a top-notch gymnast, and she's really kind of kick-ass. I mean, she could do a lot. She lives in her body, and she comes from the theater, so she was Matilda in Matilda, if I'm not mistaken, on the West End.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of fascinated by this world. She had these really interesting questions. We had, the first time we worked together, I think it was we were saying goodbye, first episode, and we had these very sort of emotional scenes, and I was saying goodbye, and then Michael was sort of saying goodbye, Tony was saying goodbye, and after everything she would come back and she would say things like, how can you get emotional on every take? Like she was, and I said, oh, this is a really interesting person, because she's really watching it with intense curiosity. She wants to learn. She's kind of tracking behavior, and so I, the whole physical thing of coming from a gymnastics background, that was very interesting. But then the idea that she's also sort of tracking performance and wanting to learn and asking all these questions was sort of fascinating to watch, because we were like, oh my God, thank you, thank you for sending us this being. I mean, she's sort of perfect for this show, and perfect is our daughter.
So we got lots of family scenes to look forward to.
Oh yes,
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh, I'm
family
excited.
dynamics. You get to see how this guy's a very loving, nurturing, funny dad, but also very, very caring, and there's real tension. Our child is big part of the story. We have to protect our child, and that's the reason why we're working together, to make sure that our child is 100% safe.
Yeah, Michael, what's it been like to play Tony as a dad? Because, I mean, that obviously wasn't something you had to really do in the original.
No, and I think even more importantly, there were episodes, and one particular episode where we showed that Tony is afraid of two things in life. In one episode named Chimera, which was around episode 100.
Chimera, wow.
Yeah. We know that Tony's
The
afraid
orange
of
shirts.
rats. He's afraid of rats. And he's afraid of children. And we learned that there's another, because of his own childhood, and he just won't relate to children on the mothership and in those episodes. So I think and because we know his father, and we see that was not a great modeling that went on for him. So when we meet him with this child, and we see the journey that he's gone on, it actually affects and speaks directly to his relationship with Ziva, because she didn't watch the 4 years that she wasn't there. And so he's kind of gone on this journey and learned all these things about himself, but she still sees him as the person. It's like going back to a college reunion or something, and you still think that that's your roommate from 1995 or something. And so there's the imbalances of growth that each of the characters is going through is part of the joy of the show, because we're catching up with them as they catch up with each other.
And we're sort of also catching up with each other and sort of, I think, suppressing things because we don't want to deal with the complexity of whatever that is, And no matter what, we have to make this parenting thing work because this child is our life.
And she makes him a better dad. Isla played Tali in such a way that she made parenting. She showed you the kind of dad that Tony became, but he became that dad because Tali kind of said, "Here's what I need," and because it's like she's a little Ziva. So I don't know. It's a rich potpourri. It fills the room with wonderful smells.
But by the way, she's a tough cookie, and she's kick-ass. So if you need like a little summary of who, Tali really is, she's kick-ass and she's a tough cookie.
And she knows movies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just like her parents.
Like her dad.
She gets the movie references.
Now, I am curious, what are the hopes for the series? I mean, did you want this to be like, a limited, just like tell the story in kind of a contained one season, or is the hope to maybe, continue this for longer?
We never talk about the future.
That's fair, valid.
The future is unknown.
We can tell you one thing. Season
what's
1
that?
was so much fun.
Oh, that's so true.
And it was a dream come true for us. So we can talk about season 1 and we can tell you how much we enjoyed it.
Although I like the message on her hat.
Oh, Diva forever. Good one, Shanice.
That's a wish. And a good one.
Well, lastly, are there any final thoughts you guys would like to say to the fans ahead of this premiere? A couple months coming soon.
Well, is that the camera? That's the one?
the camera,
so
yes.
This show is for you.
Yes. And I would say if you need to build a little sort of, because you're going to sit down, you might be binging, and that's okay. There's no judgment in the binging, but you're going to probably want to bring a box of tissues. I would bring an extra pair of underwear just in case, because you just don't know. I'm not saying you need to go astronaut diaper on this, but you can. I would bring maybe some Visine. Your eyes might get tired. For those of you who enjoy gummies, I'd save that for the second viewing because there's a lot going on. You don't want to get too confused. But maybe a gummy around episode 3 isn't a bad idea.
Fairy tale.
Yeah.
You've used that word before.
Fairy tale. Yeah, it's
fairy tale.
And just be prepared. It's 10 episodes long, but since you're probably going to watch each one 5 times, it's really 50 episodes. So I'm just saying.
It plays like one long movie.
Yeah, it's just prepare. I'm just saying, maybe do some light viewing beforehand, and then,
I have a warning.
Okay.
Okay.
Trust no one.
Oh, yes.
All right. Now.
All right. Well, happy Comic-Con, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the comic.
Our next guests are two of the most beloved characters in the NCIS universe. Actors Cote Pablo and Michael Weatherly are reprising their roles in the new series NCIS Tony and Ziva. The series finds Tony and Ziva living in Paris, as one does, and co-parenting their 11-year-old daughter. When Tony's security company is attacked, they're forced to go on the run to clear their names as they investigate who is after them. In this clip, they are looking for answers when a hacker and some unexpected visitors show up.
Thank you for stopping by. Lovely to meet you.
How are you getting out of here?
If you leave us, they will arrest us.
And I'm so sorry for that.
Listen, but one way or another, we will get out. Do you want to spend the rest of your life wondering when I'm going to show up at your door yet again?
I just have an idea. Fruji and I will escape out the back, throw them there. You can go to your car, drive away, and you never have to see me again.
So there is another way out. New plan. We're coming with you.
Yeah.
Cote Pablo and Michael Weatherly join us right now in their very first network TV interview. It's so great to have you guys. I'm so
Thank you for
thrilled.
having us.
I'm thrilled to have you. I'm thrilled about the new series. It's very exciting, and it's a long time coming. Fans had a lot of questions, Cote, and is that what's behind this? Just a desire to give fans some sort of closure, some answers?
Absolutely. I think we spent a long time traveling the world, Michael and I, not together, by the way. Because you were living in New York and I was living far away. But international
weird
travel.
if we just
yeah,
sort of
if we just sort of did everything together all the
Our
time.
families all traveling as one.
Just one gypsy camp. But we get a lot of love
Yeah.
from all over. And these fans are very loyal. And they had these great questions that we were dying to answer, but we had to wait.
What do fans ask you? What do they say to you? What
You know, things like, are they still together? Where are you guys living? What are they doing now? Are they a part of the agency? Are they raising this kid together? Are they co-parenting? And we got a chance to answer.
Yeah. Are we raising a ninja assassin? Because she's a killer.
Of course. What's it like getting back together to working together like this? I mean, like the chemistry on screen is amazing.
Or is it not? Silence.
It's great. It's just that Michael and I have known each other now for 20
It shows.
years.
It shows.
You know, so it's I was saying yesterday, it just felt like sort of going back to your beach house, which is a beautiful sort of sacred place.
Of
right?
course.
The place that is away from home.
You know, your beach house.
Well, or whatever kind of place gives you that kind of
beach
comfort.
house in your mind.
In your mind.
The sanctuary.
mental beach as a sanctuary. Thank you. And sort of slipping back into the really comfy shoe.
Yeah. And Michael, you say
You're my
this is-
shoe. You're my comfy
He's a comfy shoe.
You're my comfy shoe.
You say this is extra special because you were on the very first episode back in 2003 of
right.
NCIS. So a couple of questions. What does it mean for you to be back? And then also, where's the fountain of youth, brother? Because you look exactly the same.
Yeah, I looked up your age before we did this, and wow.
Well, your makeup department is extraordinary. It was coming out of the gate in 2003 with Mark Harmon and David McCallum and Paulie Perrette. We were what we called the core four. We were the original kind of cast members, and no one had. I mean, you can't ever think that it's going to be 22 years later. You're sitting doing like you guys were all in school, and so it becomes this kind of journey that you can look back on and really have nostalgia for something that's present. And the great thing about this show is that the writers, John McNamara, who's our incredible writer, showrunner, came up with this time wheel. So we go back and forward through this nonlinear story. And in a way, that's kind of what we went through shooting it.
Yeah.
We would have these little deja vu flashback pops. And you know, it was really comfortable and great. And like you said, the beach house in your mind.
My comfy shoe. Yeah.
So the fight scenes are amazing. How much of that do you guys do yourself, or is it stuff?
100%. I am there all the time. I like to.
Especially Michael. I do my own fight sequences. I have an amazing stunt double, of course, for the things that I'm certainly not going to tackle.
Like the driving.
No, well, yes, like the driving, but also jumping off a roof of the Opera House.
Yes.
That was a pretty massive thing, which you don't see until episode 7 and 8. So you must wait.
Yeah. Something also cool. You guys shot all over Europe, and we hear that you brought something special back from your.
Yes. I mean, I hope that
Europe.
no one is on a special diet today because we've got.
Wait, for us?
Out of town.
Oh,
Yes.
don't threaten us with a good
It's
time.
it's a little French macaron.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Macron.
Yeah.
Which one
Macaron.
Yeah.
But you can pronounce it any way you want.
Macaroon.
Because this is CBS
Macaroon?
Right, that's right.
Macaroni?
You can call it
Yeah,
whatever you want.
definitely not macaroni, but.
My little,
Hey.
my
They're like,
little,
hey, you want a macaroni?
my little
Now,
pig
you're lucky I'm
hamburger.
saying Cote correctly. Ish.
It's a sugar burger.
Oh, my
Right?
goodness.
Are these actually from Europe?
This one right here.
Somebody bought these down the street. Somebody bought these.
Adure,
It's like
right?
raspberry or something. This
Did anyone
is
have the
amazing.
chocolate one? Because those.
Yeah, this is delicious.
Oh, we should have offered you something. Would you like?
Did you want one?
We've had plenty.
Yeah, no. Why do you think
Come
we're
on,
like
you guys.
this?
We're just.
Try them. They're really good.
Well, wait a minute. Your accusation is that they brought it down the road and passed them off as Paris.
I mean,
macaroni?
these guys are like trained assassins. Anything's possible.
I think it's possible too. All right, Cote Pablo, Michael Weatherly, we're really excited about this. Thank you for being here. First 3 episodes of, excuse me, a lot of macaroon
You
here.
all right?
NCIS, Tony and Ziva, available to stream right now on Paramount Plus, parent company of CBS News and all the rest.
Our next guests are two of the most beloved characters in the NCIS cinematic universe. Well, it's not a movie, but the universe.
It could be
anyway.
soon.
It could be.
Don't give it away.
Coming soon on Paramount Plus, we hope. Actors Cote Pablo and Michael Weatherly are reprising their roles in the new series NCIS, Tony and Ziva. The two are now living in Paris with their 11-year-old daughter when Tony's security company is attacked. They're forced to go on the run.
We still don't even know the nature of the threat.
We do know 9.4 has taken down a bank, a hospital, and created a fleet of killer cars. People have died, including Boris's friend, the Leco programmer. And according to him, raining fire drones are the next target.
This is strange. I feel like we're back at the job. Like we should be calling McGee and saying, hey, handle this.
Yeah, how's that gonna go? Hey, Proby, how you been? Sorry to do this to you, but you know that red notice? Ignore it. It's just a big misunderstanding.
You can just feel the chemistry. Cote Pablo and Michael Weatherly, thank you so much for joining us again in this hour. I'm going to jump right in to ask the question that all fans want to know. Because you guys are co-parenting in this series. But when is that co going to drift away, and when are you going to be back together?
Is that going to happen?
Oh boy. Well, that is sort of the central question of the whole thing. Is will they or won't they be happily ever after?
I will say this. Lots of really good flashbacks. And by good, I do mean good.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Wow.
Well, that's a good word to use.
Look
sir.
at that. Michael, a lot of people at home might be wondering, are you the guy from that Snickers ice cream bar commercial? And you are. And
Yes.
you are.
34 years ago today, Tony, and I'm glad you brought it up. It only took 88 takes to get that perfect take. And
Did you eat the 88
I ate
ice
88
creams?
bites, and then I was hospitalized.
So it launched you into an acting career, and then NCIS comes along in 2003. You call that role and getting it, the casting, a miracle. Why?
Which one? The Snickers commercial?
The NCIS one.
Because there is a story about the Snickers commercial. Yes, no.
Weren't you really hungry?
I
Weren't you like
I was
really, really
more than hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was an ice cream bar and it was 9:30 in the morning. So I met Don Belisario in Australia, and that's how I got the NCIS thing, because Don created Magnum PI, which was one of my favorite shows growing up. And so I just said, I know that energy, that voice, that's my world. So that's and then 2 years later, this one. That energy and that
That one
voice.
happened.
She knew she was going to get it. It wasn't a miracle. She was
No,
like,
I
got
actually
this.
thought
No.
I was never going to get it. Because I came in later in the audition process, and there was a woman they had been sort of testing for like, I don't know, months.
Wow.
And so I thought, why would they bring somebody else? And then I thought, oh, they just need somebody to test her against.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know? And so I
And
thought,
now
for
that
sure,
woman
I'm
is
just,
Melania Trump. You could have been the first lady. Look at that.
And then, I walked in thinking there's no way I'm getting this. It's
Yeah.
this girl. She was very at ease. She knew everyone in the room. She came in. I heard the audition.
Oh, but she was-
They were laughing, and I thought, oh my God. And I thought, weird, because this is not what I think is going on. And I'm like, I'm just going to play what I came to do.
So did
And
they,
I did it.
was there a
it.
chemistry read or something that you guys did together in this
Yes.
audition?
The infamous chemistry read.
Oh, it was alchemical, I would say.
Yes,
yeah,
there
the alchemy read.
was chemistry, but it was really kind of reverse chemistry. It wasn't like instant, like I love this guy. It was quite the opposite. It was, oh God, whoa, this is. So I was having a reaction to what he was doing, and he was doing exactly what he's always done. So he was not.
We were not indifferent to each other, though.
No, not at all.
No. What?
So
The intent of what's going
Okay,
on.
wait, hold on. We're trying to
It's
sell the show
early
here.
for this.
Let's sell this show here. I got one follow-up question. All right, so this is the 7th series to come out of the NCIS franchise. For people who have seen the previous 6 and thought, why do I need a 7th? What makes this one different?
Well, there's a special sauce in this one. But I think that your question has the answer in it, which is I was in episode 1 of the first one. And so the DNA, the germ of that idea and whatever that special sauce has in it, we now...
You're really with the special sauce.
A lot of
I got a little special.
He's looking for a McDonald's
Every
commercial,
time
man.
I see a green silk knit tie on Tony, I go a little, that's a special sauce.
It is. I got a couple more weeks of summer left. September 22nd, so I can go with the knit tie still.
It's a beautiful thing.
No, they won't let me go open color.
You're going to want to watch what you characterize as the 7th because it will give you all the feeling of the first. But we have advanced and come to a new
Because you
place.
have these beloved characters, right?
Yeah.
But also, we took them away from the procedural, structural world that the mothership came in, you know? And so we are no longer part of NCIS proper, the agency. We are now two people from that world that are trying to make it work. And they're, we're trying to explore this relationship. So really, it's kind of a different world.
It feels different. It's
I
so
love
good.
it.
And
So
the first
good.
episode is called No Country is Safe, which is NCIS.
Ooh,
What about that title? There
Why
you
you do
go.
that?
Stay tuned.
Cote Pablo and Michael Weatherly with all the hot takes. Thank